Welcome live, everybody, with Diamond Kirby. This is live in the 315. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Has happened over the weekend with football, with college, college football as well. So we'll have that to talk about, and also just give you guys a heads up for tomorrow. I'll probably just announce it again at the end of this video. Tomorrow we do have our special guest, Jeremiah Sparks, coming on at 3:30. It's going to be a different time. Obviously, some of you might be at work, but if you guys could tune in still, you guys could listen up just to hear the story from him coming from, Jordan Elbridge to going to Oswego State and for playing college basketball there as well. But let's get right into it. We're going to go straight to it, and we're going to go right into college football, get right into the playoffs and everything, and get all that situated and get all that going. So we're doing all that and getting everything situated with that. We already basically have our 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know those are the 4 teams that are going to go and fight for that, national championship, obviously, and try to see who's ever the best team out of those ones. Maybe it could be an upset. Maybe we could, see something change. But hey, we never know what could happen with that. But with that being said, well, Kirby, what do you think with those 4 teams? Let's start with TCU versus Michigan. Like, what do you think about that game? Like, what do you think about TCU? Do you think they're the stronger component, or do you think they're the underdogs? Do you think, or with vice versa with Michigan?
Yeah, at the moment, Michigan is the favorite. They are the 2 seed. They're undefeated this year, so they should be the favorites anyways. TCU was undefeated till they just lost to Kansas State in overtime in their conference championship by 3. They got stopped right at the goal line. They could have won that game easily. So the TCU-Michigan matchup is going to be really good. TCU's quarterback is in the running for Heisman as well in the top 4. So they have a lot playing for them. This game is going to be intense. I wouldn't be surprised if TCU knocks Michigan off. They're that good. Like I said, they barely lost to a number 10 team. Michigan almost lost to Illinois this year, so they're vulnerable. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a better game than Ohio State, Georgia. Ohio State has the pedigree of being up there. They're always Alabama. They're always a team that's always up there.
Yeah.
But Georgia's undefeated. To me, they're more of an undefeated team than Michigan. Michigan, like I said, had some bumps in the road where Georgia just handled business almost every time. So, and Ohio State is missing their best, or not their best, but one of their best receivers, Jackson Smith, declaring for the NFL draft. So he looked at that and said,
"Yeah." And honestly, I was watching TCU, like a lot of their I watched like a couple of their games. I'm not gonna say I watched all their games because I don't like watch college football all the time, but I definitely do watch it here and there. Obviously, Georgia's always Georgia. They have very great recruiting team. They recruit the best players they can get out there. They're like, obviously, like you said, they're kind of like Bama. They try to have the workhorse, the power horse every year. A team that surprised me from not being a team that actually really surprised me for not being there was Alabama and Clemson. I was really surprised to see that them not in the top 4 and them, at least, fighting for that. So it was kind of weird not to see that. But anyways, with these 4 teams right here, you do have great competition. TCU versus Michigan is going to be great. I think obviously TCU is the underdog, obviously, to Michigan, but it's going to be for a great story. I think that they're going to play very great. It's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do, especially with the other game, Ohio State versus Georgia. Georgia is a very strong team. Ohio State, they're really good as well. They usually have a lot of quicksters, a lot of speedsters and things like that. So they're a decent team, but I really think obviously it's going to be Georgia. I think it's going to come down to Georgia and Michigan in the final 2 spots.
I really think that too. Like I said, I just think TCU, of course, they are a little bit higher seed than Ohio State. I think they have a better shot to beat Michigan than Ohio State has to beat Georgia, especially with one of their best, like I said, receivers out declaring for the draft. So that's going to help Georgia out a little bit more, guarding Marvin Harrison Jr. and the rest of Ohio State Buckeyes. I do agree with you on Clemson and Alabama. Alabama didn't have a conference championship either, so I understand them being out of it. They had 2 losses as well. Ohio State was 5th ranked and Alabama was 6th, I think. So Ohio State had a little bit higher rank than them.
Yeah.
But Clemson winning their conference championship, not just winning it, but they crushed North Carolina. I think Clemson had a right to maybe be in it over Ohio State, though.
Yeah, and honestly, I always like going for the underdog. So I always like to see the underdogs take it and win it. So TCU's the underdog I want to take because I know Georgia's just their power. They're a powerhouse. They have a power horse. That's just what they do. So I'm not going to, go against Georgia. I think Georgia's going to get it done. So Georgia would obviously be in there. But TCU might give, Michigan a run for their money, might actually could put, possibly show that, hey, listen, like we're here. We're trying to, get where you guys are trying to get as well. We're a fighting team. And you never know. They could do something. Their running back's really decent as well. I like the running back a lot. Number 22, I like him a lot. I think he's going to do real good things as well. So that's going to be interesting to see. And then, we're from Syracuse, obviously. So we'll talk about real quick that, Syracuse, I'm wearing, a Syracuse shirt, even though we're trash. But anyways, we are playing in the Pinstripe Bowl. So, go Cuse. Hopefully they can, win that and bring it back. That'd be great because we're from New York. It'd be great to see us win that. Bowl. So.
It's Syracuse's, I think, third time in the Pinstripe Bowl. They faced Minnesota. This is going to be their 5th matchup ever facing them. They're 2-2 against them. All games have been decided by 10 points or less. So it should be a really good one. And they both faced a similar opponent this year. They both faced Purdue. Syracuse barely edged that one out this year. I was at the game, and also Nick that's in the comments was at the game as well. And Minnesota got beat up by Purdue. So looking at matchup wise, we should beat them, but we lost 6 or 5 out of the last 6 games. So anything's possible in this bowl game.
Yeah. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, in college is very exciting. All the kids are trying to get to that spot, and that spot is the NFL. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens and how it goes. Obviously, you said Jackson Smith was his name. He's sitting out. So we might see a couple more of those kids sit out because they don't want to risk getting hurt, and they maybe will be a first round pick, maybe a second round pick, so they'll still get a good draft pick, but. It's just going to be, I like this time of the year because it's good to see who's going to sit down, who's not going to sit down. So I guess we'll see what happens with there. But let's move on. We're going to move on straight to we're going to move straight on to, all the drama that's going on in the NFL. We're going to do a huge NFL recap right now. Drama everywhere. There's QB drama everywhere. We'll start off with the injuries real quick, and then we'll start off, we'll talk about the other news. Right now, this is, a big one right here. Jimmy G is out for the season. I'm not too sure what the 49ers' next move is. If they're going to rock with, was it Purdy or Party or someone?
Brock Purdy, yep.
Purdy. I don't know if they're going to rock with him. I know he played a good game against the Dolphins. This past week, it hurt me. I wish we won, but that was more of I don't know. I just, like I said, it was very interesting to see that game for not only Tua, but the 49ers. Their defense showed that they can win. Is it kind of like that scenario with the Eagles, with Nick Foles? You have a great defense. Just go out here and get us touchdowns. We need you to get you touchdowns. We have all the weapons for you. We just need you to get it done. So, with that being said, what do you think?
Brock Purdy looked really good out there. I'm sure they're going to look at someone like Cam Newton or someone that's just not on a team at the moment. And we'll talk about Baker Mayfield a little bit. Of course, they missed their opportunity on him. But I'm sure there's someone out there that doesn't mean they're going to start right away over Purdy because Purdy's been there the whole year. He's learned the system probably behind Garoppolo and Trey Lance. But he looked good for his first, no jitters really. He just went out there. He did his thing. He threw a couple touchdowns. He's got McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Kittle. He's got a bunch of weapons on his offense. So, and I think Kyle Shanahan is a pretty smart coach. He could put anyone in a system and make them work at it. And I thought it was kind of funny. I saw a meme actually, which is true, that he was Mr. Irrelevant, which I don't know if you know what that means, but that means he was the last pick in the draft this past year. So
I knew he was the last pick in the draft. I just forget that we call him, Mr. Irrelevant. But he really surprised me. Obviously, the Fins have a great front seven, so we weren't really getting the pressure there that we needed to for him, obviously because of who he is. But he did what he needed to do with the team he had. I'm not. There's no disagreement there. There's no hate on it. He did very well with them. And I'm not sure what their next move is. I know they signed Josh Johnson or something like that as well. So it's going to be very interesting. They lost, like I said, they lost out on a Baker Mayfield that could have maybe helped them just a little bit because obviously he's still Baker Mayfield. Maybe he can get it done, but it's just not what he's really capable of doing. We obviously seen what he did with the Browns. We've seen what he's doing with the Panthers. He's not getting it done with whatever he's got. But obviously the 49ers have a very different offense. They have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. You got CMC. It's Kyle Juszczyk. There's just so many different weapons there. So It would have been interesting to see what Baker could have done there. But obviously, this brings us to our next little topic right here. This brings us straight to Baker to the Rams. Like, that's why we have QB drama up here, guys. There's a lot of QBs. That's just what we're talking about, and having Baker Mayfield to the Rams is very, very interesting because how you doing? How you doing, Brent? Thanks for joining us today. Just wanted to, give you a shout out for, joining and watching. Thank you for watching. But what's interesting with that? Like, well, actually, let me hear what you got to say. You're a Rams fan, Curb. Let me, I'll say what I got to say after. I want to hear what you got to say about Baker Mayfield. To the Rams.
So I'm looking at this standpoint. I'm not a Baker fan. I don't hate Baker. He's had a rough go at it. He's had a bunch of different coaches. The Brown system is just horrible. Like even with Watson, Watson's a great player, but will it work out? We don't know either. Like it's just the Browns. They went through quarterbacks like it's I don't know a raffle. Like they just go, oh, pick this guy. Oh, this guy's up next. Okay, so. And the Panthers, they're a younger franchise. They're one of the cheapest ones to buy too. So I'm not saying they're a great franchise either. I'm not saying it's all Baker's fault, but I think we're just picking them up because we're seeing like Walford and Perkins are just not getting it done. And we don't have a first round pick. So tanking is not an option. Like if we keep on losing, we're helping the Lions out. We're not helping ourselves out. So we need to start winning. And I think Baker might give us a better shot to win games than Walford and Perkins do.
And the real question is Jalen Ramsey gonna agree with Baker Mayfield? They're like they don't have any weapons. Like they don't really have a lot there on your offense. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is out.
Yep.
Allen Robinson is out. Cam Akers is there, I guess. Tyler Higbee is there, I guess. But it's not the same.
Dude, our top receivers this past week were Tutu Atwell, Skowronek, and Brandon Powell.
Yeah, and Van Jefferson kind of just didn't really do much. I thought he was going to, because he's been in the system for a while, so I thought he was going to be able to do something, but he really didn't do much. So it's like one of those situations where it's like even if Baker's there, but it's like I don't think that's like the missing piece because it's not gonna do much. Yeah. He might maybe spark something. I see my dad was like, I think he might do all right because of the warm weather and a young coach, but I just don't think that's gonna, change the outcome there or the aspect. Maybe it does, but you got Bobby Wagner and Jalen Ramsey on the other side. You make one bad move, they're going to yell at you. It's just what's gonna happen. So
what's funny? I just noticed is I don't think I've seen any Baker Mayfield commercials ever since he's changed teams and kind of sucked.
Yeah, because he's just not good. Like he's just getting noticed now for not really being as good as he should be. And it's now to that point where it's like nobody's gonna want you on your team. Like nobody's gonna, it's just one of those things. He just doesn't do good. He just doesn't. You had Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, David Njoku, Austin Hooper. You had the squad over there on offense, and you could not get it done. It doesn't matter who's in your division. You got there.
They had a good defense too to keep them afloat.
Yeah, it's just he couldn't get it done. And then you go over to the Panthers, and it's not a great move. It's not like, oh my God, but yo, bro, you made them it was so bad to the point you made them change. You made them go to what's the name? They made him go to, trade CMC to the 49ers. And that's how bad it got. Because you're just not good. You don't make players around you better. You don't do better. Yep. So Baker, I think, was kind of like, but I get it. I get the move. I understand it because you need something, I guess, to get something going on the offense. But I guess we'll wait to see what more they can do.
Yeah, I guess it's just a change of scenery. It's not just all on him. I mean, he got released, so it's not his choice that he left the Panthers. But it's kind of like, when Odell left Cleveland and certain players leave certain teams, going to LA or New York or at least just certain places. Just it's a better environment. It's better either weather, like your dad said, or it's just a better place to be at. He's gonna the Rams gonna be up for him. Maybe he'll play better.
Maybe if Cooper Kupp and Cooper Kupp comes back and whatever happens, maybe if it would be different if those wideouts were there. It would be a lot different if they were there. Then I could be like, all right, they got someone, I guess, maybe throwing them the ball, but Baker just isn't somebody that scares anybody. He's not going to scare the Seahawks. He's not going to scare he's definitely not going to scare the 49ers. Let's be honest. Like, you think Baker Mayfield walking out on that field with them is going to scare the 49ers? I don't think it's going to happen. But But I don't know. I just think that they're trying to get away from not having that first round pick be so high, but at the same time, it's just not. I just didn't think. I don't know. You might as well just stick with what you got. But I get it. You didn't want somebody else that Let's be honest. They didn't want their their enemy to get them. Because if they didn't get them, the 49ers probably would have scooped them up. Let's be honest. Like that's probably why that move happened.
Well, honestly, like going back at the 49ers and the Rams, like you said, offered a better package for CMC, and the 49ers got him. So it's like a back and forth game where, like, all right, you got CMC, you hurt us. All right, now we're gonna get Baker, so you guys don't get better either. Like,
because let's be honest, that quarterback position is really valuable, and if Purdy can't, and if Purdy or whatever, or John Johnson or whatever, if they can't produce, it's over.
They're not guaranteed a playoff spot.
Yeah, like you guys got to still fight. Like you guys are still fighting for your division with the Seahawks. I still think
the division. The Commanders and Giants are fighting for the wild cards over you guys. Like,
there's a lot of teams that they got to worry about, like in that division, to get them, obviously out of the way. So the Commanders, the Giants, like you said, and then it's just one of those things. And I'm not gonna lie, I get what he's saying right here. He's like, I'm taking Purdy over Baker. I guess. Like I said, no one has film on Purdy. Like no one knows what he can do. No one knew who he was.
But he looked Purdy.
Now people know. You guys aren't gonna do any deep balls. And the next teams they play is gonna show them that, like, listen, I ain't gonna lie, he didn't play like you didn't play us. We watched some film on him now, so now we see what he's gonna do and we see what's gonna happen there. So that's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with that. This is another quarterback that has a lot of drama going on. Lamar, he's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks. We're not too sure how long he's going to be out. But from what our knowledge, I think they said 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 1 to 3 weeks. I think I saw.
So like 1 to 3, 1 to 3 weeks. So it's going to be tough for the Ravens. Like they still got Tyler Huntley, and good thing he's got some fight in him. Like. So, can Huntley get the job done? Like, what do you think? Do you think he's going to keep them in the race for playoffs? Because obviously they have to go against the Bengals. Like, they got some competition coming up.
I think he's going to keep them in the race for a wild card at least. I just think the Bengals at the moment are playing really good ball. They just beat the Chiefs as well. So I think the Bengals are going to outduel the Ravens by like at least a game in the meantime, 2 games, But because the Ravens beat the Jets head to head, so they had the tiebreaker in the Jets. Patriots and Chargers they're looking like back and forth and they're inconsistent. So I think the Ravens, he'll still, like, if he hasn't played 3 games, he'll win at least 1, possibly 2 at least out of 3. Like last year, they won some games, but Lamar was the one that kept them like having a shot to make the playoffs last year. So Huntley plays great, but doesn't mean he actually wins the games for them. But he did beat the Broncos. He did beat the Broncos this past week. He won that game. So.
Yeah, he won that game for him. And honestly, this might just be a blessing in disguise for the Ravens. Like they don't obviously Tyler Huntley's going to be a free agent this year too, but like you don't got to pay him a lot. Oh, we'll pay you a little bit so you can stay here for a couple of years, maybe a year until we figure out a quarterback situation. Obviously, Lamar's Lamar Jackson, so it'd be tough to like not keep him. But like if you have a quarterback that's kind of somewhat like him, that can kind of move like him, obviously not just like him because he's Lamar.
Yep.
You can still get the job done. I just think that it's honestly, I'll be real with you. I think Lamar's just going to hang out. Because he's not getting paid. He's not getting his money unless they say to him, listen, we're going to give you the money right now. I think that's when we'll see like Lamar Jackson back to Lamar Jackson. I don't think we're going to see Lamar until he gets paid. And the team I really do think that might be the team that does it is the Lions. I think the Lions might try to trade for Lamar in the offseason. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I definitely think he might be the one to get played in the offseason. And obviously it goes right back to this comment. But it's like even with that comment, it's like, nah, he's not going to Miami. Tua's got Miami. He's not. They're not gonna get rid of Tua. Tua's still showing
this on this year. Before this year, possibly.
Yeah, Tua just lost his first start ever as a quarterback. He's not gonna get taken away from Miami. Mike McDaniels likes him way too much. Obviously, you're gonna choose Lamar over Tua any day of the week, but you're not gonna take you're not gonna take Tua out of the system that's now just starting to flow. We see a little kinks. You got to fix that. That's why even that with Tua, like we could talk about him real quick. The pressure just kind of folded on him. That's all it was. He just needs to like get over that hump of the pressure and everything like that. Once he gets over that pressure, that's when he'll, finally, hopefully, will play better when he gets out of that pressure and says to himself, like, stop doing that because you'll be all right, But I don't know. I just think that Lamar, let's go back to Lamar. I think Lamar is gonna I think he might just sit out for a couple, even though he has to sit out for 2 to 3 weeks. I still think Lamar just doesn't care. He shows it in his playing.
Yep.
I want my money. Like,
this time is gonna prove that either the team's gonna not suck, but they're not gonna win games, and he's gonna be like, "See, I'm telling you, I'm worth this money.
yeah,
You guys need me, pay me," or they're gonna do good and be like, "Wow, I mean, we're doing all right without even Lamar. I know Lamar is great, but is he worth that much money? Like, we probably can make this team still pretty good without him." Like, so
exactly.
these next couple of weeks are going to determine if he's going to get paid or not. Really, like how the team does. If the team does good, he probably won't get paid. If they suck, then he probably will get paid. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, there's gonna be one interesting thing with that, and I just think with Lamar, like I said, it's hard to replace him. But if Tyler Huntley can show it, maybe they'll just say, you know what, whatever, let's do it. Let's just figure it out, and we'll just go from there.
Yep.
But we'll go on to our next topic. Our next topic is the guy that came back last night. I guess he's still the go to the comebacks. If you give him enough time, he'll figure it out, and he'll get it done. Hey, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how Brady does it.
So story time over here. So I was at actually a bar last night, and the Saints got up 16-3 in the third quarter, almost fourth, I think, even too. And I was like, I thought the game was over. All my friends thought of it was over. I'm like, I know it's Brady, but come on, they barely did anything the whole game.
Yeah.
Saints are running up the field. Like, Dalton's hitting them on the numbers, and some of his receivers are dropping it. Like, if Landry caught that one, that was a touchdown. If Olave caught it instead of hitting his helmet and trying to bobble it, like, some of these catches, like, the Saints could have closed it up probably. But I drive home, and I get home, and my friends are all like, Julio catch, like, that was crazy, all this stuff like that. I'm thinking, like, oh, it's 16-3. They're about to score, maybe lose 16-10, at least make it a game. No, I look at my phone, it's 16-10, and they're about to score again. I'm like, what did I miss in those, like, 10, 15 minutes I was driving home? Like, I was like, I could not believe it. And then in that game-winning touchdown, I'm like, dude, this is just another Brady comeback.
The crazy thing was I didn't even watch the game until the end. Like, so I'm on the game last night. Like, I'm on PlayStation and we're playing the game, and Nick's like, yo, Brady might come back. I go, what do you mean? He's like, you just scored a touchdown like the whole way. So I'm like, all right. So like I literally as soon as I go off the game, I come upstairs and I just turn on the game and I'm like, yo, they really gave Brady enough time to come back. Like, I could not believe it. I'm sitting here just watching it. I'm just like, wow. And I know some fantasy people are so upset that White got that last second touchdown. Like, Mookie, I'm going to call out my boy Mook. I know you're one of them. You're upset. I know you are. But it was crazy to know that he that happened. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, Brady still has it. He still has some stuff in the tank, and he's trying to at least get one more run at playoffs. He's like, I might have lost the ring in real life, but I'm going to win this ring. And my marriage, but I'm going to win this ring in football. So it's like,
and the way they won is like it said that this was the first time he came back down 13 points in like the second half since that Falcons Super Bowl. So I don't know. I saw some deja vu like when I went to Tampa and the Rams blew it there. Like I was looking at some deja vu, knowing that when you get Brady anytime like that, it's pretty much a wrap. Like that he's him and Rodgers probably, and maybe Drew Brees back then and Russell. Like there's just certain quarterbacks that you just know you give them over a minute or around a minute, that's still enough time. Mahomes is another one, 13 seconds. Like it happens. Like
and that's why, to be honest, like you can't give Brady that. You can't give Brady that extra time. You can't give Brady that extra oomph because then you're just gonna give him. I don't know. You're just giving It's like this. It's just stupid because now you're giving the GOAT as much time as he needs now to win this game. All right, well here you go, Brady. Might as well just hand him it. Like the Saints, I think have been undefeated against Brady for a while now. Yeah, so now you guys just ruined that because you guys couldn't get it done. So I don't know. I think the Bucs end up winning the division. Obviously, I think they're going to end up
that win kind of solidified it. I think
Yeah, I literally was just about to say I think that win just solidifies that like they're most likely going to win their division, even though the division is awful and they're all like just losing so many games.
Yep.
So that's going to definitely be interesting to see. But who knows? We'll see how it goes. We'll see what they do and see how that all pans out for Brady and for the Bucks and for that the NFC South and how that division works out. We'll see
Yeah,
how
because
that.
pretty much it's between them and the Falcons, really. The Panthers, they're kind of out of it. The Saints are out of it completely now, like just losing that
Yeah,
game. If they won that game last night, they would have been, I think, 5-8. The Bucks would have been 5-7, so they would have been only half a game out. So it would have been anyone's game if Saints actually held on to that game. But with the Bucks winning, it kind of like pushed the Bucks above everyone else now. So
yeah, and that's why I think that the Bucks definitely are going to win their division. They're going to end up getting it done. So I guess we'll wait to see what happens. And there's one more quarterback that we're going to talk about before we go to one more other topic. It's Kirby's background, so why not? Like we got to talk about it. We have to see what everybody else thinks. We want to know what you guys think because obviously he's showing that he really is the MVP. His weapons are doing exactly what they said they were going to do when he came in there. He said, "Yo, listen, I'm gonna be the guy. I just need my weapons. I need everybody to work around me." And then they go and get AJ Brown.
yeah,
And that was AJ Brown. We talked about it. That was AJ Brown's redemption game. You guys want to trade me for Burks? Which so I hope he's okay because that sucked that he got that injury.
oh yeah, that was
I
a
really
great.
hope
I
he's
can't
okay.
believe he held on to that, caught that, but
Yeah, and
yeah,
he held
once he
on to
went
the
down,
ball
you knew something was wrong. His hands were like making like dinosaur like motions, like.
And the crazy thing was, I didn't really like the call, but I understood the call. But I didn't really like the call because he did lead with his shoulder first, trying to hit his chest. It's just Burt tuck for the hit because he
Just
didn't
the
want to get hit
timing
hard.
too.
So it kind of like everything kind of went like that. But I understand it. So it was all right. It was whatever. I'm just hoping that Burks is okay. But back to Jalen Hurts, he's balling out. I ain't gonna lie. He's rushing the ball. He's literally top 10 in rushing yards with the running backs. Like he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's up there. Like him and Justin Fields are like neck and neck now with that. Like obviously we know what Lamar can do, but it's like, we got other quarterbacks who could do this.
Yep.
It's like it's cool to see that like they're both kind of like starting to run more, starting to do more things, starting to get on the field, starting to show that they can get it done. Like and AJ Brown is still getting it. I mean, Hurts is still getting it done without Dallas Goedert right now, which is great. And that's what's really good right now for the Eagles. They're still getting it done without some of the players that they don't have. I don't even think Jordan Davis is back yet. Dallas Goedert,
He just came back this past week.
Yeah, so he's back now, but you still got Avonte Maddox that's still not even in there. You got who is it? Dallas Goedert, who's still not in there. There's a couple of
Gardner Johnson, I think, has been hurt a little bit too.
Yeah, and I think he might. And and Robert Quinn, both of them I think are done until playoffs. But that's okay because you guys just need to win. You guys have the team. You guys
already got 11 wins.
So you got to, I think you guys are going to be clinching the division real soon. I think they get one more win. They're like clinched. I think that's what it is. If they get
they play Dallas in like 2 or 3 weeks, so that's going to be like the deciding factor.
I think I was going to say that's the deciding factor because even though they only I think they obviously they have the one loss to the Commanders. That's one loss in their division. They've won every other game in their division. So Jalen Hurts is just showing his numbers. His numbers are improving. He's getting it done. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's very athletic. I wish Tua would freaking learn from him and just sometimes run the ball. But obviously, he's a lot different quarterback. He likes to stay in the pocket. But Hurts is doing what he needs to do. He's getting it done exactly what he needs to get done with those weapons. Like Miles Sanders is stepping it up too as well. He's playing he's playing a lot better. Miles Sanders is playing so much better football.
Well, I think the difference between what Miles Sanders used to look like and then this year is like I can see he has more of a dog in him. He actually is like every time he's not taking that one hit and going down right away. He's like fighting for more yards. Like before that, I just saw him like get tripped up all the time, not pushing through it. Now he's actually like he's bulldoze. He's stiff arming people. I never saw Miles Sanders really stiff arm people. Like this whole Eagles team, they're all riding together. They're AJ Brown's killing it. We see it every year. We see it every year. Every time a quarterback gets a top receiver like that, it changes their dynamic so much. Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs, you see it Hurts with AJ Brown now, Tua with Tyreek. Like these players change that quarterback for a while, and usually some quarterbacks change the receivers, but these receivers are changing these quarterbacks is what we're seeing now.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's why I like that. He's got these weapons because now it's gonna show that he can that he can, like, get it done, because obviously you need your weapons. You need a bunch of other people that can do some things and get it done, and whatever else the situation may be, and they're getting it done. They went off on the Titans. I think they did the Titans so dirty that they just fired their GM, because they're like, you made a horrible decision getting rid of AJ Brown. So look at what you made us do. You made us play him, and now look what he just did to us. Scored like 2-3 touchdowns on him. He went off. He was just killing them. He was scoring.
Well, he had 2 touchdowns, but one of them got held back. He could have maybe had 3.
Yeah. So, like, he was just going off. He was catching everything. He was doing exactly what he needs to do, and he's going to get his money worth. He does exactly what is need done. And the Eagles made a smart decision. Why go get a receiver? Why stick with one of these receivers in the draft when we can go get one right now? And, for a draft pick who's already been in the NFL and is already a proven top 10 receiver. I hate when people try to say he's not a top 10 receiver. Like, yes, he is. AJ Brown is a top 10 receiver in the league. Do not dismiss him. He is playing phenomenal football right now. He is catching the ball on like 2-3 corners. He's doing fantastic.
Yeah, the Eagles made up for their mistakes in the past for the drafts. They could have had Justin Jefferson. They could have had DK Metcalf. Now they got AJ Brown, so they kind of made up for. They got Devontae Smith. They've made up for those 2 mistakes, and they got 2 great players in return. So
exactly. So they're doing good, and it's good to see that they're trying to revamp it over there. That division's playing great, and it's great to see it. So enough about Jalen Hurts. Everyone knows he's going to probably be MVP. He's most likely going to do what he's got to do. But this brings us to our last topic of football, and then we have one more just surprise topic real quick. This is going to be a baseball topic. It's just something I wanted to talk about before we also get off on here. So with that being said, we're going to move straight to Odell. He did not pass his physical today to see if he can even go to a team, even if he picked the Giants or the Cowboys or whoever he was going to go to.
Bills, yep.
Whoever he was going to go to, he tried to do a physical and he did pass. So, what do you think, Curb? Like, what do you think this is like? What do you think this is like? Odell's going to try to. Do you think what he's going to do? Do you think he's going to wait till next year? Maybe try to come back in January when a team has something situated. What do you think?
No, I think Odell wants to play this year. I think teams are maybe not going to willing to pick him up this year is the thing. So I think teams are willing to wait for him next year. I don't think they're going to rush him into it. They're like, he just came back from a couple of injuries. I don't think that knee's gonna, like, he gets one more injury and I think he's done. Like, he retires. Like, he can't play anymore after one more injury. Like, he's pretty much at that brink there. And Jerry Jones was all excited about him. He's like, oh, he's gonna be a great fit for our team and everything like that. And then once the physical came out and he couldn't pass, it's like, oh, I guess he wasn't the right fit. No, it doesn't mean he wasn't the right fit. He was the right fit. He's too injured still, so he's not gonna work out for his team.
And I also think what Nick is saying right here is 100% correct. I think he wants too much money as well. I ain't gonna hold you. You're obviously you're a super. You just won a Super Bowl championship. You didn't even play in the whole game. Yeah, you might have helped out with whatever the situation. You didn't even play the whole game. And then the one thing you always end up going back to is, oh, you're blaming it on the turf. You're blaming it on the turf. Okay, understandable. We get it. The turf is a little different, and something happens with it, I guess, with certain people, and I guess like they actually are finding it. That the turf is like causing more injuries. But anyways, like, you're still a football player. You're still an athlete. Like, you're still supposed to go out there knowing that you're going to be playing on this turf. You need to get prepared for it, get ready for it. And you're asking probably for way too much money. You're not even asking for the vet men. Somebody's going to want to pay you like maybe $5 to $6 million. This dude's probably going to be asking for like 15 to 16 mil for just 1 year. Like, and you're not even prove worthy of that. Like, yeah, you're Odell and you do what you do, and you can maybe change the game or the aspect of it, because now there's more than one person you have to watch. With Dallas, they have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and then you add Odell with that, Anthony Pollard and
Dalton Schultz, Noah Brown. They have
so they have decent receivers, and then you kind of add him to the mix. It'll definitely help Dak, but it's just one of those things where it's like those knee injuries are serious. So no one's going to sit there and be like, oh, we're going to give you $10 to $15 million to come play for our team. While you're still trying to nurse like an injury that might even not even help you to, get into the game. You could get that could get re-injured in the game. And now guess what? We're out $15 million. We just paid you $50 million on the year when we could have signed like 2 other players for just that price, maybe even 3 or 4 players, because they're vets. Like, that's why I think Odell's starting to fail to realize he's not an it player anymore. You're a vet player now,
Yeah, and I don't even know how much CeeDee Lamb makes, but I think he's still on his rookie contract. I'm guess.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
he's
he's
still on
only
his
been
rookie deal.
so like. What makes it think that Odell gets this money where CeeDee Lamb's not even getting that money, and CeeDee Lamb's a lot better you at the moment? Like, so I would say that too. Like, dude, you're not even the number one option on this team. You're gonna be the two, maybe even a three. Like, stop asking for that much money, especially when you're just coming off an injury.
Yeah, and like you're coming off an injury that's very serious. It's your ACL. It's not like it's like some old like, oh, this isn't gonna. No, this is an injury that could sideline you again for a whole nother year or
Yep.
even longer because you know that's like something you use as an everyday receiver, your legs, and you're getting hit, you're getting chop blocked. It depends on where you are when you're lined up. All tacklers go for the knees. They know that's like a weak point, so they go for the knee. So it's like you want the Cowboys to give you 15 to 20 mil or whatever the situation is. When like you said, James Washington's coming back too, and maybe he comes and he performs. Like he wasn't horrible in Pittsburgh. He did really well with the Steelers.
Yep.
Like he did very well with the Steelers. So that's another weapon for Dak. That's why it's going to be a little iffy. And like, I get it. Like I know Odell wants to come back very soon to play football, but like we said, nobody's going to want to pay this man $15 million. I wouldn't if I were them.
And I feel like the Cowboys, they just came off another crazy offensive game. They scored 54 points on the Colts. Like, you're already scoring 50, 40 at times, 30, whatever. Like, is Odell going to add that much to you? And I think it's going to take away from the run game. They're going to try to maybe focus on more passing where the run game has been working so well for them with
Yeah. So
Pollard
it's
and
like,
Ezekiel Elliott. So,
and it's like Odell's considering the Cowboys, and it's like, why wouldn't you go to a team that passes more? Some teams like why wouldn't
the
you consider
Packers or
the Packers, Miami, or the Chiefs, or Baltimore? Because Baltimore, obviously, they have Huntley, but like in Lamar, but like obviously Lamar needs still a target there. Like it's like you could go to any of those teams, but you're deciding to like go to the Cowboys who like to like run the ball heavy and like to
Yep.
get that situation where it's like, why would we give Odell the ball when you could give the ball to CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz, Zeke, Tony Pollard? And I would rather throw the ball to Tony Pollard over Odell right now. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. I would rather put Tony Pollard in the slot and say, hey, you go out for a 5-yard slant. Odell, you can't go out for a 5-yard slant right now. You can't even, it's like one of those things where it's like, Cowboys don't need him, and they shouldn't go for him. I just think the Cowboys are just wasting their time.
Then you put Odell out there, and other teams know Odell's injuries, and they might actually go, on purpose, actually go for his knees, like try to hit him low and everything. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen. That might be illegal, of course, but that could happen. And where like,
but it is a situation that could turn out to happen. Though you're right, 100% correct. Someone could at you be like, hey, listen, we know where to hit him. We're gonna hit him here. Boom. All right. Well, see you later, Odell. We know you're gonna go back to the sideline of the locker room. Bye bye.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. Do I wish him well? Heck yeah, I want to see him play again. He's Odell. He's an exciting player to watch. He's very exciting to watch. He's like John Morant. Like, you want to watch him play because he's very exciting. But at the same time, you better watch out, Odell, because people do like to hit in this game. And they like to hit hard because they can't hit like they used to back in the day. So when they get that chance to hit you, they're going to hit you.
Yeah, there's no rules really to, the quarterback, there's a little bit more rules where you can't hit him as hard. But receivers, yeah, there's rules, but usually it's not as bad as hitting a quarterback. So
exactly. So better be ready for that hit, and hopefully we see what happens with Odell. Speaking of hit, we're gonna go to our last topic of the night. This is for baseball. And this is where we're saying, like, speaking of hit, this is like a huge slap in the face to the Yankees, I still think, because of the comments that were made from Aaron Judge, stating that he was upset that they came out, that Cashman came out with like the contract talks and this and that. I guess the money and the years of the length and things like that. But it's like, even if he didn't come out with it, it will come out. It's literally information that's going to get leaked. It's just what happens.
Yep.
You're going to get an offer, and it's either going to take it or you're not going to take it. I think he's also unsure because I think he does want to go to San Francisco. I really do. I have a gutty feeling that, like, he wants to go be in nice weather. He wants to be back over by home. He wants to, be where he grew up, like over that way. Like, he just wants to be in that West Coast area. I don't think he wants to be in New York anymore. Like, it's just a gutty feeling to me I have as a Yankees fan. But what do you think, Herb? Like, what do you think, dude? What do you think Judge is decision? Do you think he's going to go with San Fran? Do you think he's going to come back to the Bronx? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw something today. There hasn't been too much talk about San Francisco either. So I think it's just like something's up in the air. Like, he's not. I think he's unsure, but teams are unsure about him at times as well. Like, do we want to pay him this much? Like we talked about before, his regular season was great, but his postseason, like he kind of, was silent and didn't show up.
Yep.
So I don't know. I feel like, but then teams like Trey Turner just got paid 11 mil or 11-year, 300 mil. So now there's more pressure on certain teams. Like, all right, Trey Turner's getting paid this, and he's a shortstop. Why is Aaron Judge not getting paid 300 something mil, like breaking his record?
Yep.
He's not going to get 11 years though, because Aaron Judge is not going to be able to play 11 years. But
yeah, that's why, and it's like that's why I think Judge is like obviously in the 8 to 9 year range, but it's like he's still trying to like get the most out of it. Like even with those 8 or 9 years, he's like, I still trying to get up to that big deal. I want as much money as I can get. And I'm thinking, even if it's San Fran, like even if I think what we offer him, like we said, we offer him like 321 or something like that, or
like 330 or 320, 330, something like that.
Around that average, like that average. So even if that said, you're basically trying to tell San Fran they got to pay you over 350. Like that's what you're saying. Like if you're basically saying I want a 9-year, $350 million deal as a 30-year-old baseball player. At that point, as a Yankee fan, as like not even just a Yankee fan, but as the Yankees in general, they're probably like, all right, well, I guess we lose Aaron Judge. It's just one of those things where I'm like having a gutty feeling that like he's probably not going to be in New York anymore. I think he's really going to be in San Fran next year. And this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be like so interesting to see where he goes because now everybody's changing homes. Like even DeGrom. DeGrom went to Texas. Justin Verlander just went to the Mets. Who else went there? Peter, was it the other pitcher? Didn't another pitcher just go to the Mets or?
No, we still have Scherzer. We just added Verlander. We swapped.
Okay, so Scherzer was already there, and then Verlander. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so either way, you still have both of them that are there. It's like it's just different. Trey Turner's on a different team. It's just now you're going to start seeing a lot of different faces on different teams. Yeah. And I just have a gutty feeling Aaron Judge is going to be one of those guys that we see on a different team. Even with some of the people getting signed back to the Yankees or whatnot, I just have a gutty feeling that he's definitely going to be in a different jersey next year.
Yeah, because the Yankees already signed Rizzo back. They got to pay Stanton. They got all these guys that got to pay. So they're willing to pay Judge like they already offered. But like you said, like he's looking to get 350 instead of 320, 330. Like he's up in it. So he's just like, all right, Yankees, you offer this. All right, Giants, what are you offering? Like
one of those teams out there on the West Coast, LA. One of y'all got to get him. It's going to be one of them. One of them are going to get them.
And the Dodgers didn't send Trey Turner back, so maybe they got that money instead of paying Trey Turner. Maybe they're trying to sign Judge instead.
Yeah, because like obviously you just lost out on Trey Turner. That was a very great shortstop. So it's like one of those things where you're like, all right, now so what is your plan? Like, do you have a plan now? Because now it's going to be very interesting to see what you guys are going to do with this extra money, especially with Judge being on the market. Like, and honestly, if the Yankees are smart, I would deal away. I would like Giancarlo Stanton is Giancarlo Stanton, but if you want Judge so bad, you deal away Giancarlo Stanton. Yep. And I heard also like there's I think they were the Yankees are in talks with the Pirates. Well, I think was it Pittsburgh? They're in talks with them right now to get rid of Aaron Hicks and Josh Donaldson to them. So those are deals that like I'm not sure if it's going to happen because obviously that's a lot of money. But at the same time, it's something that could happen if the Yankees are like, hey, listen, you guys take on like 75% of it. We'll take the 25%. But
yeah, and it makes sense with the Dodgers though too because Kershaw only did take a 1-year $20 million deal with the Dodgers, so like he could have made a lot more money. So I feel like if he took that much less of a pay cut and then they didn't sign Trey Turner, like I said, there hasn't been too much talk of San Francisco at the moment. The Dodgers could be that sneaky team that actually picks up Judge. And had Judge and Mookie Betts in the outfield, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Mookie Betts and Judge in the same outfield would be that'd be very interesting to watch. It's just like things like that. Yeah. Like even when Giancarlo Stanton got traded to the Yankees, it was very interesting because you're like Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge. Wow, this is nuts. Like this is gonna be great, and they don't have nothing to show for it. Like we don't have, and obviously people are gonna be like, oh well, their pitching wasn't great. Well, our hitting wasn't great either. I seen what Judge did. Judge didn't do nothing in the postseason for the Yankees. And even if so, it's like it's just one of those things. And like, yeah, I know New York has like so much money and things like that, but like This is baseball. Baseball money comes and goes. It's that tight. It's not football. It's not basketball. Money comes in baseball. So like the San Francisco Giants could look at him like, hey, listen, we're gonna give you $350. Yankees are not going to do it. I guarantee they're not, because if they were, they would already offer them that. If they were going to do that, they would have looked at a judge and said, hey, listen, we like you. We love you. We don't like you. We love you. We cherish you. You're the guy that brought the stadium back to life. You're the guy that gave us the 62. You broke the record. No steroids, no nothing, because you got drug tested all the time. And now look at you. Like, there's just nothing. It's just like you have all those accolades, but you do not have that ring. So it's one of those things where, yeah, they're waiting. I know they're obviously they're waiting, but it's like, even if so, he's unsure. He does not know if he wants to go there.
And that's why I think that I don't know about the Giants, because I just don't think Judge's got to think this way. If only he's missing a ring, does he have a better opportunity with the Giants or Yankees? And I think he has a better opportunity with the Yankees.
100%.
So that's why I'm thinking Dodgers could be that sneaky team, because Dodgers have been like there or close to it every time. So
and they don't got to trade none of their pieces for him.
No.
You get them for free. You don't got to trade none of your other pieces, the pieces that helped you get there for the last 2 seasons or however many seasons. You don't have to trade. You don't have to get rid of none of those guys. You can just take Judge for free. Here you go. You just want this amount of money. Okay, bet. We'll take you and Mookie Betts, and we'll be good to go. Just bring us some home runs.
That's what happened with Mookie. The Red Sox just kind of gave him away for free. Like, the Red Sox didn't want to sign him. All right, Dodgers, you get the money too. Let's sign him.
Yep. Like literally, they traded him. They traded him to the Dodgers. Then thinking in the free agency, you're like, okay, the Red Sox are going to go. No, they wouldn't even offer him money. They didn't even offer him a dime. So Mookie Betts is like, bet I'm going to stay in LA where it's great then, because LA is amazing over here. And I'm going to just take this money over here. So it's just one of those things. I guess we'll wait to see what Judge really does. They offered him the money. I guess we play the wait game with them and see how it goes, and see what deal he takes, because I'm not sure too much on I just don't know what's going to happen with that. It's very interesting, but I guess we'll wait to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see who Judge chooses, or if Judge even chooses somebody differently. So hopefully he stays a Yankee. I got too many Judge shirts. I'll be mad because I'm not going to burn them, but I'll be pissed that I have them. But other than that, everybody, thank you guys for joining tonight. It was a blast. It was a pleasure. It always is. We love having everybody on. We love the fact that we can come on here, we can talk about sports, have you guys join in on it, and it's just always a blast to talk to our fans, have you guys comment, and get to see what you guys want. Remember, we still want to see if you guys have any topics for us. We're sick of choosing them, so if you guys could come up with any topics, let us know. We'll love to add those on here. Like I said, we want to hear from you guys. We want you guys to come on here and make sure you guys are part of this journey that me and Kirby are trying to do. Also, Kirby has been uploading some of our videos to Spotify. We also are on YouTube. So if you guys are on YouTube and you guys want to watch our videos or go through any videos, follow us on YouTube, Live in the 315. We're on there, Live in the 315. Also on Spotify. Just I think it's Live in the 315 Sports Podcast. Make sure you guys add that. Go on there, share our YouTube page. Go on there and follow our YouTube page. Like our videos. Go on Spotify, listen to our videos. Go do all of that for us. Again, also tomorrow we do have our special guest, Jeremiah Sparks, tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be on tomorrow afternoon, not tomorrow night. Kirby has a busy weekend, so we're going to get this interview in so you guys can hear this story. If you guys miss it because you guys are at work, again, you guys can go on Spotify now. We are also on YouTube, and we're still on Facebook as well. So no matter what, you guys will catch anything that you guys miss. It will be on here. We'll have the full video on here. On Facebook and on YouTube, and then the full video on Spotify. Again, Live in the 315 Sports Podcast. This is Dom. This is Curb. You guys have a great night. Thank you guys for joining.